Hey, happy Go Battle Day. I'm Ferrikster, here to bring you some Pokemon Go GBL battles. These battles are played in Open Great League because a lot of people have stopped playing Sinnoh Cup, so the queue times are obscene, and it's Go Battle Day, so you kind of have to get through these battles awfully fast. So I'm not even showing you 3 consecutive sets. I did a bunch of my Go Battle Day battles last night and a few this morning, and I've been climbing really consistently with this team. So while there's still a few hours left of it, and even if there isn't, because you're in like New Zealand or maybe even some parts of Europe, it's already getting kind of into the afternoon, then it's not like we won't get Open Great League again. And again and again and again, and this is my team that I'm using to climb for Go Battle Day. I don't know, in Open Great League. Probably too many words, especially considering I'm supposed to be getting through this kind of quickly, but let's hop into this team that I've made. I am leading with Toxicroak, and in the back I have a Kanto Ninetales with Weather Ball and Solar Beam, and I've got a Sableye. My Sableye is XL Purified. I think it's like a rank 29 or something, so it has pretty good IVs, but if you've got a Purified Sableye with less good IVs, it's probably still fine. Weren't really that many games where it came down to the wire of health with Sableye, although it definitely helps it to perform better as a counter swap to Walrein, which is still everywhere, but not as much as it was for the first few days. When Walrein Trevenant first came out, I was feeling abusive, and I was running Sableye Double Fire Solar Beam, so I was running Sableye with Kanto Tails and Typhlosion, and it worked really well for the first couple of days. And then the meta kind of spread out and became a little bit more recognizable, a little bit more normal, and that really stopped working. So it was time to start running a meme team and actually construct something that has more general usage. So these games are cherry-picked-ish. I tried to pick a lot of games that were pretty close. There were some games where I teamed comped my opponent or where they team comped me. And since I had like, I don't know, 8 to 10 sets already for this day, I figured, let me just spread them out and just try to pick some good games, speed them up a little bit more than I normally do, and cast these a little bit faster. So, in this game, I ended up switching Kanto Ninetales into a loaded Alola Ninetales, and it just stayed in and started throwing Side Shock. So I'm like, all right, something here is wrong. I've stored up all this energy. Let me shield this Weather Ball. Feels bad, but, you gotta do it. And see what's in the back that's been trying so hard to avoid fire. Excuse me. So there is a Trevenant back there. They bring their Trevenant out into my Ninetales. I'm going to unload these Weather Balls. One of these is going to force the shield or KO. But you can see how much this Weather Ball does. It is substantial. And then I'm going to switch out into Sableye just to prevent this Trevenant from loading up on energy. I'm going to shield this, whatever it is. Probably just a Seed Bomb. I'm not even sure they were able to make it to the Shadow Ball, but that definitely felt like it was worth a shield. And there's a Stunfisk in the back, and I've still got a decent chunk of Toxicroak left over. So as long as I can put this G-Fist pretty low, I'll be in pretty good shape. And Sableye will survive an Earthquake from this range anyway, especially because mine is XL. Although if I remember from back in me running a Hundo Sableye, I would have survived that anyway. My opponent realizes it's over, throws a Rock Slide, doesn't bubble it, and just lets me Shadow Claw them down. Next up, all right, Toxicroak into Sableye. This is a terrible lead, obviously. I'm going to safe swap into my Ninetales. And they're going to stay in for a bit. So I'm going to shield this Foul Play because I need some health if I'm going to be trying to fight for switch advantage. I'm going to build up to the Weather Ball. So the thing about Weather Ball Solar Beam is because Weather Ball has stab and is still a pretty efficient move, Weather Ball actually does more neutral damage than Solar Beam even does. So it's not like if both of them are hitting for neutral, going for the Solar Beam nuke is going to necessarily help you. Sometimes it's just the surprise of KOing them in one hit rather than in like 2 smaller hits. But generally speaking, Weather Ball is going to be the thing that you're going for in most scenarios. Solar Beam is a coverage move, so it's really just for waters and rocks. All right. So I'm going to bring my Sableye back out, and this Sable, the opposing Sable has an energy lead. So I'm just going to spam out this Foul Play. It's definitely going to draw a shield because they are getting pretty low. They're going to store energy and switch out into Venusaur, and this is fine for me. I still have enough health on my Sableye to survive a Foul Play. So if I can get this Venusaur low and farm it down with Sableye, or if I can just take it out with Toxicroak and force the opposing Sableye to throw energy, I'll be in good shape. So that Sludge Bomb is going to KO, and I'm going to be able to reach a Mud Bomb, which I don't think would KO, but it might have put it pretty close to it. But they are going to end up throwing a Foul Play, taking me out, and they still have enough energy for another Foul Play, but like I said, my Sable's going to survive that, and I'm going to be able to reach my Foul Play. I'm just barely going to be able to take this game. But yeah, that was close. I guess having XL Sableye there probably was necessary. All right, Toxicroak to Stunfisk, good lead for me. If I could have used Sableye as a counter swap, I would have. But yeah, just gonna build up some energy on Toxicroak and then switch out to my Ninetales. Ninetales is actually surprisingly tanky. It's not a particularly meta Pokemon. But it does have like very good bulk and a pretty good moveset. I guess maybe a better coverage move than Solar Beam would be nice, but then you wouldn't be able to beam things. So I don't know, maybe it's for the best that this is the set that it's got. I mean, a lot of Ninetales are either running Overheat or Psyshock in the second slot. Solar Beam, not really that common. I'm just running it because I don't want to get walled by anything. And with Solar Beam there, definitely gives Ninetales the ability to at least threaten a lot more things. Like Azumarill, which my team would really struggle against if everything didn't kind of have an answer. All right, Stunfisk's going to come out into my Sableye, and that is fine for me. I mean, I'm just going to spam out these Foul Plays. 2 Foul Plays plus all of the Shadow Claws is... I mean, it doesn't KO Stunfisk, but it puts it pretty low. I end up shielding a Rock Slide bait, which is unfortunate, but I mean, you know, like I said, I'll survive an Earthquake anyway. I just wanted to preserve some more health, and there's a Trevenant in the back. So they switch this into a kind of loaded Sableye, so I'm going to throw this Foul Play and then switch out after a little bit to my Toxicroak. They're kind of in a position where they have to end with some energy, enough to be able to outpace Sable. But I guess maybe they forgot how much energy I had stored on Toxicroak on their Mandibuzz safe swap, and I'm just able to just take them out with a Sludge Bomb. All right. Next up, Toxicroak into Obstagoon. This is a fantastic lead. They safe swap into a Nidoqueen, and against Nidoqueen, I like to stay in for a little bit and just throw a Mud Bomb first. This will almost always force a shield out. This time it doesn't, which is crazy, and then I'm going to bring in Sableye, and I'm not going to shield anything. Like this first, if they go Earth Power first, that's fine. It still doesn't put me into Poison Fang range, so now they're going to throw their Poison Fang, but I would easily have survived. I don't know why I shielded that. I would easily have survived that. What was I doing? I don't know. I don't know what that was. All right. Well, I wasn't supposed to shield that, but I did, and yeah, going to throw this return. Did I not know this yet? I was still kind of new to this team, so maybe I guess I was still learning. All right, going to bring Tox back out. And they are going to insta-swap into their Skarmory. Makes sense. I'm a little bit slow to switch in my Ninetales, but that's fine. I mean, Ninetales is going to outpace Skarm quite a bit. So, going to get a shield there after winning CMP, and I am going to no-shield this because it can only be a Sky Attack. Or I was just figuring there was no way they wouldn't Sky Attack. You know what? That could have been a Brave Bird, but there was no way they were going to Brave Bird. Too risky. So now I'm going to get the second Weather Ball out, and that is going to be a CMP with their next Sky Attack. So this one I am also going to shield. And yeah, I'm going to outpace them, but they actually switch into their Obstagoon, so I'm not able to get out in time. I mean, I could have thrown one more, but I was really worried that Obstagoon was going to throw something, and I needed to take them out right away. Switch in my Toxicroak, throw one counter, I'm going to be able to throw this Mud Bomb. And that is going to be just enough with the extra counter to take out the Skarmory. So I managed to take that game. That is a GG. All right. And that was a 4 out of 5. I am still climbing up from... I think I started the sets that I'm showing here at like 29... something? 29.30 or something? And, yeah, I don't know. I had... I think all positive sets except for one. And I don't remember actually how many sets I did all together, but here we are climbing up to 30-22, and let's get into the next one. All right. Toxicroak against Walrein. Seen a surprisingly low number of these. They're going to safe swap Venusaur. So I'm pretty confident seeing this right off the bat that it's probably Walrein Double Grass with the second grass being Trevenant. Walrein Trevenant has been a very, very popular core. I know shield the first move with Ninetales. It's always going to be the Sludge Bomb, and it does a lot of damage, and there could be some merit to shielding it. Like Ninetales would end with energy because you outpace Venusaur so much. And like, it's not like Walrein could come into a Ninetales with a ton of energy that easily either. Like, all of my moves will hit for neutral. If I can land the Solar Beam, obviously it would KO. I'm not going to be able to Solar Beam this Walrein either because I've been put a little bit too low. Like, I was 2 Powder Snows away from dying, so if I tried to throw my 3-turn Fire Spin, I would have been KO'd before throwing anything. So did get a shield and some chip damage from those Weather Balls. Now I'm going to end up shielding an Icicle Spear, and that is all right because it does about 50% of my health. They're going to swap out into the Trevenant that I was pretty confident was going to be back there, and yeah, I'm just going to train my Sableye on this. And Sableye is going to be able to take this Trevenant down low enough that, you know, it should be okay. I'm going to shield this because it could be the Shadow Ball. And even though I've switched in pretty quickly, they're still going to be able to reach another Shadow Ball. Trevenant is really just a pretty great Pokemon all around. Like, Sableye is a pretty strong counter to it, and, even Sableye, because I switched in not, like, instantly, wasn't able to take it out before, ending up going down. But did put it low enough that Tox was able to farm down, so I managed to take that game. All right. Toxicroak into Marowak. I have not seen a lot of Alolan Marowaks, but... there's been a couple of things that we've seen in this video that I don't see that much of. There's just, there's a lot of Pokemon that you can use in Open Great League. So, you're going to, no matter how many games I show you, you're going to see some stuff that you're not prepared for. And, that's part of Open Great League's charm, I guess. I say that as my Sableye gets charmed down by a little Ninetales. I'm going to bring my own Ninetales out, and they are going to throw their move here. I'm just going to let it go. It's all Weather Ball or like Dazzling Gleam, both of which are resisted. If they have Psyshock, hits for neutral, but only does like 35-ish, 40% of my health. So really not worth a shield either way. Farm them the whole way down and have a ton of energy. I was spamming out my Weather Ball because I was really kind of expecting them to shield something, and it was a Vigoroth. So if I had Solar Beamed it, to be honest, it wouldn't have killed. It would have just done about twice as much as Weather Ball does. Like I said, Weather Ball in neutral situations, slightly more efficient. Sadly. All right, going to throw that Mud Bomb, force that shield against this Marowak. And I know that they have back-to-back already, so I'm just going to let that go. End up shielding this here also. I don't need to get countered down by the Vigoroth. The only way I could really take them out at this point would be to farm this down and Solar Beam. They survive with like 1 HP and reach their next Bone Club, and that is going to be enough to take me out. So, yeah, that's GG. That's rough. I really wanted to Solar Beam the Vigoroth. All right, Lickitung in the lead. They're going to safe swap into their Nidoqueen. That's fine. I'm going to build up to and throw a Mud Bomb. Forces a shield, I would say 90% of the time, and then I'm going to switch out into Sableye. Since I have not taken the damage from those first, like, 8 Poison Stings, I don't have to shield this Earth Power. Gonna just throw this Foul Play. I think they would barely survive that, but they would definitely end up getting farmed down afterward. And, like, if they had thrown their Poison Fang earlier, I wouldn't have had to shield it and still be able to throw the next one. But I'm feeling like maybe 2 shields is maybe enough to make a difference here. So I am going to shield this first move off of this Nidoqueen, and I'm just going to farm the rest of the way down. This one can only be a Poison Fang, so this one I'm going to have to let go. And just going for a huge farm, so I'm only 1 away from a Solar Beam. Lickitung is going to come back out. I'm going to switch into Toxicroak, and there's a Swampert in the back. Very good candidate for getting Solar Beamed, but I'm not quite going to be able to align that, looks like, so I'm just going to throw this Sludge Bomb. Even though it hits for resisted, it still does more damage than the Mud Bomb does. And I'm just going to shield this Hydro Cannon, and the counter that I snuck through is going to be enough to KO. Lickitung is going to come back out, and I'm just going to be able to throw this Sludge Bomb. Once I land this Sludge Bomb plus a couple of counters, it should put it into Weather Ball range, and that's all I really need. Even if I get licked down, this is fine, because that Lickitung is now low enough for me to take out with one of these Weather Balls. And yeah, managed to take that game. That's GG. Lickitung pretty strong. Like, I think if I had gotten in like 2 fewer counters, I don't think the Weather Ball would have been enough to KO. All right, that is a 3 out of 5. I get a Larvitar, which is pretty cool. Reminder, the Pokemon that you're getting for encounters during Go Battle Day have a base IV of 0. So you could get a 0-15-15 right now, just not of Genesect. Not the legendary mythicals are still just regular raid IVs. All right. Deoxys in the lead. Deoxys in the lead is really difficult for Toxicroak because, I'll die to a single Psycho Boost. I switch out here at 10 when they're at double Psycho Boost and catch one of them on Sableye. Does almost nothing, and they counter swap with a Diggersby, which is pretty good against Sableye. Not gonna lie, this is not an ideal situation here. Just gonna throw foul plays. It's gonna take 3 foul plays to take out a Diggersby. 2 returns wouldn't even be enough. So it does make the most sense to just go for foul plays. Here it looks like, I'm getting out these moves because I'm XL, but if I wasn't XL, I would have fainted before Diggersby got to farm this much energy off of me. Gonna force a shield with that last foul play, but this Diggersby has like so much right now. I sneak in a counter on my switch in, so I'm gonna shield this Fire Punch bait. I know that's what it's gonna end up being. They throw one mud shot, and I throw one counter, and now I'm just going to throw my Mud Bomb. That's going to take Diggersby out. Deoxys is going to come back out, and reminder, this thing already has a Psycho Boost loaded. I'm going to land the Sludge Bomb and then switch out into Ninetales. I was kind of hoping to make a catch there, but they did not throw their energy, so this is still a dangerous situation because Deoxys can still one-shot Tox. I'm kind of committing to using Ninetales here as my closer by shielding that foul play. Thankfully, I'm able to get a shield off of this Sableye. So now, even if Ninetales goes down, if Toxicroak can farm down Sableye and have like a Sludge Bomb ready, then that'll be enough to take Deoxys out. But Ninetales is able to get to the Weather Ball. Gonna take that out. And this Deoxys comes back out. It's got a Psycho Boost already loaded. Oh, right, I remember what I needed to do in this game. I should have switched out to Toxicroak right away, because Ninetales does survive a Psycho Boost, and even the debuffed Psycho Boost still takes out Toxicroak. But if I had switched Toxicroak in, and he had taken the first one, then the one that hit Ninetales would have been debuffed. I would have actually been able to take that game. Right. That was my mistake. So, Azumarill lead. I'm sure a few of you have been looking at my team and wondering what you do against an Azumarill lead or an Azumarill swap. I do have games with that. So even though Azumarill is pretty good against fighters, I mean, of the fighters, Toxicroak obviously has the best chance at taking an Azumarill out. Gonna throw the Sludge Bomb. They sneak in a bubble, and that is all right. I get the second shield, so I'm going to switch out into Ninetales. I'm going to catch this Ice Beam, which is going to do really not that much. If this is an Ice Beam Play Rough Azu, then it really can't even hurt Ninetales. I mean, the bubbles obviously hurt a lot. This could be a Hydro Pump, so I am going to shield this, and it's just another Ice Beam bait. And then they're going to switch out into Drapion, storing some of that energy on their Azumarill. So that's fine. They have some energy. They definitely don't have a move ready yet, though. Drapion is a pretty strong safe swap, but I'm definitely glad that I'm seeing it here against Ninetales and that it wasn't saved for my Sableye. So that crunch not quite going to take me out, and I'm actually just going to actively swap into Toxicroak and go for a farm down since their switch timer wasn't up yet. Our switch timers are very desynced at this point. Azu's going to come out, throw one bubble, but I'm going to get my last counter in, which is going to get me to this Sludge Bomb. Doesn't take Azu out because that's an XL Azu, and Azu is pretty thick, but it does do a lot. They're going to switch their G-Fisk into my Tox, which is an unusual thing to say. Rock Slide me down, but this is fine. Just going to bring my Sableye out, and since the Stunfisk has already taken all of that damage before, all I need to do is land a pair of Foul Plays, and that will be able to take Stunfisk out. One Foul Play, even with enough Shadow Claws, would have been enough. But even though this Stunfisk started this with no energy, they can still reach that Earthquake, and yeah, they're about to reach their Rock Slide, so I am going to have to throw this Foul Play. If not, I guess I could have tried to catch on Ninetales, but ended up not being necessary because I'm obviously going to win CMP. And I managed to take that game. That's GG. All right, Shadow Swampert in the lead. Swampert is pretty difficult for this team. It outpaces everything. And since nothing on my team resists water, nor is super, super bulky, I don't really have a great way of absorbing this damage either. Thankfully, when it's in the lead, that's probably for the best. Toxicroak will have to double shield, but you can counter the whole way down if it's a shadow. If it's regular, then you kind of can't counter the whole way down, so you'll have to end up farming with Sableye after they take you out. That means you won't have switch, but, you know, that's fine. So, just going to throw this Sludge Bomb against this Tropius that comes out, and then switch out into Ninetales just so that they can't really stay in the farm down. And there's a Drapion back there, so... yeah, this is fine. It has Aqua Tail, so never mind. This is actually terrible. For the most part, Drapion in Open Ultra League carry Crunch and Sludge Bomb. It's pretty unusual for them to be carrying Aqua Tail. They're able to get out 4 Poison Stings and then throw their move in the time it takes me to throw 2 of my own. So, yeah, I don't know what that is. That's, the servers have admittedly not been the best today because, you know, Go Battle Day. That's kind of expected. Tropius is going to come back out, and I'm just going to bring Sableye out, and I am way too healthy to be taken down by Leaf Blades. It would take 3 of those. And yeah, just Shadow Claw the rest of the way down. That's GG. Alright. Toxicroak into Beedrill. This is a pretty bad matchup for Toxicroak, so I'm actually just going to switch out to Sableye right away. Don't want to show my Ninetales just yet. Not going to shield this X-Scissor. Hits for neutral. Does, you know, a decent chunk of damage. And they switch out and catch a Foul Play on their Vigoroth, which is, you know, an impressive catch, I guess, but that is probably what I would have thrown anyway. I build up to the return, and then I'm going to bait Foul Play. Return would obviously KO. Foul Play will not. This is not the most efficient way. And they no-shield it, so... and this is a CMP. I'm going to let the Body Slam go. I'm going to build up some extra energy and just throw this Foul Play just as they're getting to their next Body Slam, and they decide to let it go. Could have traded out shields, and that would have been fine also. And I'm definitely expecting Beedrill to come out and farm down, and instead a Swampert comes out and farms down, which is terrible. Which is terrible. But thankfully, I do have alignment, so my Ninetales doesn't have to see this. So I am going to end up double shielding the Hydro Cannons, obviously, because I can't let them. I can't let my opponent know that I have Ninetales in the back. Sneak in a counter on this throw also, and I am also going to shield this. I'm kind of expecting them to try to switch out into Beedrill at some point here, but they stay in and faint just as they're reaching their next Hydro Cannon. So really, really close to being able to taking me out there instead. I'm going to throw a Mud Bomb, which will hit for neutral. And they shield it, and now I'm going to switch out into Ninetales, and it made sense for them to shield, because otherwise the Fire Spins would have taken them out anyway. Going to have to eat a Drill Run, but Ninetales can actually tank that. Yeah, Ninetales is surprisingly thick. And that's going to take Beedrill out, and that's a GG. Alright, Toxicroak into Altaria. This is a terrible lead for me. There have been very, very few Altaria, because there have been very, very many Walrein for quite a few days. So, you know, Altaria hasn't really been the most common thing to see. I'm going to land a Sludge Bomb and then switch out to try to catch a Sky Attack, but they built up more energy before throwing, so I thought it was a Moonblast, and it ended up being a Sky Attack anyway, so, you know, yeah. That's, yeah. Alright. So I'm going to throw Foul Play against this Ferrothorn. Like, this is an unfortunate thing to see, because my Ninetales obviously would have loved this. And yeah, I'm going to throw my next Foul Play here. This will, I think, just barely take them out. And, I mean, I could have shielded this and tried to force the last shield out. That might have made the most sense, but I figured, you know, if I just take this hit and go down, I'll be able to farm down with Toxicroak. And it's not like Ninetales would have a better time against Altaria either. Altaria is going to come back out. I throw a Mud Bomb, which makes absolutely no sense. Like, it does nothing. I thought I was going to do a little I thought I was going to do a little bit more than that, but it did nothing. Which I was not expecting. So, yeah, Altaria's going to take me out, but they're in farm down range, and there's a Swampert in the back, and that is a GG. Yeah, I don't know I don't know what I could have done against that team, but hey, you know, that's all right. Sometimes you're going to get hard countered. But all right, that's still a 4 out of 5. It's a pretty good set. I get a Pringles Man Frillish. This is a fantastic time to get your Pringles Man Frillish. You know, I mean, look at Jellicent. It's clearly the Pringles Man. Yeah, and you can literally get one with PvP IVs now, not even having to trade. Very good opportunity. You should definitely be playing this day. If you know, if this day isn't already over by you. I'm sorry, this video is coming out late. All right, so yeah, shout out to Pikachu guy who is running a Dragonair. I was like looking at this, like, what am I looking at? I feel like you never see Dragonair or Melodic outside of like specialty cups or Sylph, so it's crazy to see them in open. I realize Toxicroak's not the most common pick either, and definitely neither is Kanto Tails. So I'm gonna no shield this. It's a good thing I have alignment, and there is a Superior in the back, so yeah, fantastic that I was able to get alignment in the lead. If I did not have that, this would have been pretty bad for me. They're going to no shield, save their shields for Melodic, makes a lot of sense, and I'm going to no shield also. It is a Frenzy plant, it's resisted, so it doesn't really do that much. I'm able to farm the rest of the way down. Melodic's going to come back out, and I mean, I could Weather Ball, but it just feels safer to go for... I don't even know if it feels safer. It feels necessary to go for the Solar Beam. Kanto Tails Solar Beaming the Shiny Melodic. This is Open Great League around 3100. That's just meta up here, I guess. All right, Deoxys in the lead. This time, I'm going to try switching out right away to Kanto Tails. I've tried it other ways in previous matches, and it's been, mixed results. Either way, very difficult. This one's actually carrying Rock Slide. Who does that anymore? They're all supposed to be carrying Thunderbolt nowadays. And they're going to switch out into Scrafty. So, all right. I'm going to go straight Solar Beam. I already got one shield. There's no way they would use a second one, right? And they actually shield the Solar Beam on their Scrafty. Like, do they know that I'm just here to Solar Beam things? I mean, I'm not. I'm playing a serious team here. So, going to throw this Weather Ball. If I had done these in reverse order, I would have been able to land the beam. That would have been beautiful. But this is fine, too. I'm going to come out with Toxicroak, farm Scrafty the whole way down. Not going to shield this, obviously. Even if it's a foul play, it really won't do that much damage being resisted. I mean, I guess that's still kind of a lot. And I'm just going to try to insta-swap out into Sableye, expecting Deoxys to come back out. And it does. And there's a Skuntank in the back, and I still have a shield. I can just return this. And yeah, managed to take that game. That's GG. All right, Shiny Alolan Grimer. They're going to safe swap into Azumarill, and I'm going to stay in because, I don't have an amazing answer for... I don't have, like, a hard counter for Azumarill on this team. I'm not going to shield the first move because it's an Ice Beam. They made no secret of it. They threw it at exactly 5 bubbles, so it couldn't have been anything else, and Toxicroak will be able to survive and get 2 Sludge Bombs out. My opponent probably also knows this. I'm going to spam out this next Sludge Bomb. If they're spamming out their Ice Beam, they'll be getting it out here. Which would make this a CMP, and they shielded, so that's fantastic. I'm going to let this go. And since their switch timer isn't up yet, I'm not going to wait out my switch clock at all. That's just helping them out. Just going to send Kanto Tails in right away, sneak in an extra move. That's always fantastic. Going to shield this. It could be a Hydro. It's an Ice Beam. Probably Ice Beam Play Rough Azu. And I am going to go straight for the Solar Beam. It takes Azu out, and yeah, Grimer's going to come back in. So, going to build up some extra energy before I throw this first Weather Ball. Not like I'm baiting them or anything. Obviously, I can't do that. They know my set at this point. Was really hoping I'd get that next Weather Ball out, but since I didn't and I don't really know what else is back there, I'm going to end up shielding. It's a Deoxys, build up a little bit of energy, and then switch out into my Sableye. This is pretty much over. I can just foul play, and that would take them down, and my opponent resigns the game. That's GG. Wow, I'm not used to trying to catch this fast. All right, Swampert in the lead. This is terrible for my team, but if I'm going to see Swampert somewhere, I do prefer it to be here. So this is a non-Shadow Swampert, so it's harder to counter down for sure. I'm going to end up shielding everything that they throw anyway, and if I'm not able to fast move deny or sneak in moves, then, Swampert can definitely end up outpacing. Wigglytuff comes in, and I could have thrown a Sludge Bomb, but I feel like it makes more sense for me to hold on to that energy. Because I might need to actually, throw that at something that I can't just bring Ninetales out into and farm down. Debatable if maybe I should have shielded this Play Rough. It puts me pretty low after all of these charms. Like, at this point, I'm solo. I kind of just have to blind throw Solar Beam, assuming that Swampert is going to come back out and that they're going to save their other Charmer, but they actually bring out their own Ninetales. Well, this one is Alolan. So I end up firing off a neutral Solar Beam instead of a super effective Weather Ball, which is terrible, and then Swampert comes out and farms me down. So I'm going to bring out Sableye. I'm going to shield this first move. Obviously, I don't really have to worry too much about saving my shields. Unfortunately, I end up losing CMP here and throwing a foul play into a Swampert that is definitely going to that I definitely could have Shadow Clawed down. So that is an unfortunate waste of energy. Ninetales is going to come back out. I'm going to switch out into Toxicroak, throw this Mud Bomb. Excuse me. Get the last shield, and I'm able to counter the rest of the way down, which is fortunate because it would have taken out Sableye right away with a charge move. So really, really close game. But yeah, that was a GG. All right, Ariados in the lead. I don't have, like, Toxicroak is okay against Ariados. Like, they both kind of just resist each other's moves. But I end up switching into Sableye to see what comes out, and it's a Wall Rain after the Ariados took a decent chunk of damage already. So, like, this is fine. Since I snuck in that Shadow Claw, I'm going to shield this Icicle Spear because I know I'm going to be able to get this Wall Rain lower. Like, it would have been dangerous to just let it go here because Toxicroak wouldn't be able to farm that down very safely. My opponent loses track of my energy, perhaps, or just has resigned themselves to go for the aggressive farm down. So this Wall Rain has a ton of energy, and I know that my Toxicroak isn't going to be that useful against Ariados, so I take that first Icicle Spear bait, and I'm just going to take the next Icicle Spear also. Just kind of put all of this on Ninetales. A lot of teams are not particularly ready for it. It's a Jellicent in the back. This is actually amazing because since they actively swapped into Jellicent, the Jelly is trapped here. I am going to shield this Shadow Ball. Thankfully, I don't get Bubble Beam baited. And I am going to fire off this Solar Beam, one-shotting the Jellicent. And I still have a little bit of residual energy, so, I'm going to be able to reach a Weather Ball pretty quickly. Ariados is going to be able to get to their move first. Lunge is going to be resisted, so they're going to be throwing a Cross Poison, but I can survive that because Ninetales is pretty tanky. Lost that CMP, but I don't think they're going to survive this Weather Ball, and I'm just going to be able to Fire Spin Wall Rain down. So, end of the game, Kanto Ninetales sweep. Beautiful thing to see. And that's another 4 out of 5. So, yeah, I get a Chinchou, which is like... I have 200 Chinchous already. Like, I have one to be an Ultra League Lantern and one to be a XL Great League Chinchou. Not that I'm likely to ever build either of those. But, it is what it is. All right, Galvantula in the lead. So, this is... I don't know. I don't like to shield with Toxicroak because a lot of times they'll end up baiting. This person does not, so, the discharge is kind of going to nearly take me out, and I'm going to throw a Sludge Bomb, which is obviously going to get shielded, and I get farmed the rest of the way down. Going to bring Ninetales out, and they throw 2 Volt Switches, which makes sense, because if you throw just one, then I get, 2 fast moves for only one of theirs, whereas if they throw 2, they get, I get 3 and they get 2. It's a much better deal for them. Yeah, I'm going to unload Ninetales' energy into the Scrafty. This can only be a power-up punch, so I'm going to let it go. Because I survived that, and I'm going to be able to throw this next Weather Ball. So, getting out this chip damage definitely helps a lot. Actually, nope, never mind. It doesn't make any difference at all. Sableye still is nowhere near being able to Shadow Claw Foul Play this Scrafty down. I end up shielding a power-up punch, bait, build up a little bit of extra energy, throwing this return just as they're getting the energy for their foul play. So that's going to take them out. I have some residual energy. Swampert is going to come out. I know at this point they're going to try to make a catch at some point, so I don't throw my return right away. Amazing counting by my opponent. I'm able to Shadow Claw down the Galvantula, and now I am just able to throw this return and return this Swampert. Managed to take that game. Yeah, that's GG. All right, next up against my Pokey. Toxicroak into Trevenant. Terrible lead for Toxicroak. Going to switch out into Ninetales right away. Just because that's going to force them out faster. If I switch into Sableye, they could stay in, end up baiting a Seed Bomb, switching out with energy. That feels way more dangerous. So against Trevenant, I prefer to safe swap Ninetales. So I end up shielding, and my opponent actually, to their credit, was throwing an Earthquake because Ninetales will survive a Rock Slide from here. Gonna throw this next Weather Ball, and since they let that one through, I don't have to shield this. This can only be a Rock Slide, coming out after just like 6 Mud Shots after their other thing. And yeah, I'm able to farm them the rest of the way down. So now I have switch advantage, and I have some energy on Ninetales. Whatever comes out is going to end up eating a Weather Ball. It is a Drapion. So yeah, switch advantage, pretty important in this matchup. I get to my next Weather Ball, but not quite able to throw it. Toxic's going to come back out. They're going to switch it to Trevenant, and I'm going to bring Sableye out right away. Pretty sure this was too early to even be a Shadow Ball, but I shielded anyway, and it was a Shadow Ball. Counting is hard. And, you know, I get to my foul play. I was trying to throw it. They're going to win CMP throwing the Seed Bomb. And I get refunded. Like, the move doesn't even fire. So I just end up farming down. I'm going to throw this return. I was pretty safe at this point anyway. Like, Drapion really cannot take out Toxicroak that easily. And, yeah, I'm going to be able to get to my next return also. They were trying to build up as much energy as they could. Didn't, you know, were trying to throw right before I got to the return, but just didn't quite make it. And I managed to take that game. That's GG. All right. Toxicroak into Skarmory. Obviously, this is really terrible for me. I'm going to switch into Sableye. And they're going to stay in for a bit. So I'm actually just going to throw my foul play. This is helping to kind of desync our switch timers. And I'm not going to shield the Sky Attack because I don't know what else is back there, and they let the move through. So there's a Sableye in the back. I'm trying to throw here. I was hoping for a desync CMP. Which, you know, would be the only time I would actually get to throw the move first. But it didn't happen, and they end up Shadow Clawing me the whole way down. So now the Sableye has a lot of energy. Gonna bring out Toxicroak, sneak in a counter, and I'm gonna shield this because it could be a return. Foul play bait, that's fine. That means they're gonna be able to get to another foul play, which is gonna do decent chip damage. But I have, you know, farmed some energy on this, which is gonna be helpful. I'm just going to switch out into Ninetales right away. Since our switch timers are desynced, I'm hoping they won't be able to get out as fast as they want to, but they do get out fast enough, and they bring in a Medicham. This Medicham is throwing right away, so I think this Medicham is probably running Pup Ice Punch, which is, you know, a viable choice. Could have gone for the Solar Beam here, but it wouldn't actually KO anyway, so I'm just going to go straight Weather Ball. They still have 2 shields, so it's way too risky to try to beam a Medicham. Also makes no sense. And yeah, I'm going to no-shield this also because, again, can only really be a pup. I'm going to throw this Weather Ball. They kind of have to shield this because otherwise Skarmory will have to come out. My switch timer is done, though. I'm going to send out Toxicroak. They catch the Mud Bomb on their Skarmory, but their Skarmory is already really low, so actually kind of have to shield that, and that means I'm going to be able to counter down. The Medicham has energy, but Toxicroak is going to win CMP, so if I can farm down and end with a Mud Bomb, I'm going to be able to throw this Mud Bomb and take out this Medicham. So terrible lead, and I wasn't really able to get alignment the way I want to, but yeah, still managed to take that out. Just Kanto Ninetales pretty strong, and Toxicroak kind of amazing. That's another 4 out of 5. So I get a Croconaw, and that's sad. I mean, you know, I could be getting Scrafties and Jellicents this whole time and stuff, and instead I'm getting, you know, I'm getting whatever I'm getting. Also, apparently struggling to catch the Croconaw, which is, you know, it's fine. It happens to the best of us. All right. And yeah, I go up to 3159. Next up against Vergiverg. Famously likes to run Hypno Double Dark, and I see Hypno in the lead, so I'm already thinking like, oh my gosh. And then a Munchlax comes out. So now I just don't know anymore. All right. So Kanto Ninetales against Munchlax. I think I can actually just win switch against this. Like, I'm going to shield this. If it's a Body Slam, then, you know, it really wouldn't do that much, but a Bulldoze would obviously do a lot. So correctly shield the Bulldoze, and that's fantastic for me. I'm just going to throw another one of these Weather Balls. If I can land one more Weather Ball, that puts Munchlax into farm down range. So yeah, they let that one through. I could no-shield this, and if it's a Body Slam, I'll survive, and I'll be fine. But out of an abundance of caution, because I really wanted to have switch against Hypno, I shield that anyway. And then they bring their Hypno out willingly, and so I'm going to be able to swap in my Sableye, get this aligned, and I don't know what's in the back, but whatever it is has one shield. Kind of was expecting a Dark, but I'll never know because Vergiverg resigns the game. That's a GG. All right. Swampert in the lead. Have been seeing quite a few of these, I guess. I'm surprised because Walrein is pretty decent against Swampert. Actually, pretty good against Swampert. And Trevenant obviously is amazing against Swampert. But yeah, I guess I haven't really seen as many Walrein Trevenant as I was for the last few days. So it makes some sense that I start to see more Swamperts. So I'm going to play this one out the same way I always do. Since I'm not really sneaking in moves here, if the Swampert decides to stay in, they'll definitely be able to KO my Toxicroak. They let the Mud Bomb go, though, and bring out a Skarmory. So I'm going to send in Sableye. Builds up, and I'm going to throw this foul play when they reach their 7th, because this is when they could Brave Bird me if they were going to Brave Bird me and switch out. And it definitely looks like what's going to happen. Excuse me. XL Sableye or not, I get taken out by that Brave Bird. Now I'm waiting on my switch clock because, my switch timer isn't up yet. I'm going to send out Toxicroak, actually, and farm down. And there's a Drapion on the back. And my switch timer still isn't up yet. So, yeah, I'm kind of stuck in here. I could have thrown that Mud Bomb before switching out, but I was worried maybe they were going to, build up more energy or something. So I just switch out into Ninetales right away. Now all I really need to do is land one of these Weather Balls, and that'll put them low enough that I can take them out with a Mud Bomb. As long as the game doesn't glitch and not show me my charge moves, which is a thing that does happen. But yeah, not going to happen this set. I'm going to be able to Mud Bomb this Drapion and manage to take that game. That's a GG. Yeah. All right, and next up against Leo Geo. I think this is finally the last match. My God, this video is probably long. So, yeah, I'm going to switch Ninetales into Hypno, and they're going to stay in for a bit and then switch out into Umbreon, which is a pretty good move. Like, Umbreon is much more adept than a Shadow Hypno at absorbing damage. So I'm going to go straight Weather Ball because, like I said before, Weather Ball is slightly more efficient because of Stab than Solar Beam is. And I'm not going to shield this first foul play because I want to, double check that I can survive at least one. Sneaking a move there, and I am going to shield this foul play. Gonna throw my Weather Ball here. They sneak in a Snarl. That doesn't help me, but I am at back-to-back already, and I only need one more. So now after throwing one more Fire Spin, I'm going to throw this Weather Ball, and if they let this go, I will have managed to take switch advantage, which is helpful. Hypno comes out. I'm going to send out Sableye, which is going to be pretty good at absorbing the damage from there. And there's a Toxicroak in the back, which is terrible because I'm down shields and I don't have any energy lead on my own Toxicroak. So I'm going to throw a foul play. I get a shield. Switch out into my own Toxicroak. This is fine. I'm going to throw my Mud Bomb. They haven't thrown theirs yet. I mean, Toxicroak would survive a Mud Bomb from here, like mine is going to right now, actually. But it will put me in counter down range, which is unfortunate also. I still have one shield on Sableye. I'm going to try to save this for Hypno because I am obviously worried that even though it's a shadow... I'm worried that Hypno will have a... what's it called? Have a Shadow Ball. I'm going to shield this. Hypno's going to come out, and yeah, I could have tried to insta-throw, assuming that they were going to combo play, but didn't quite make it. It was actually a Thunder Punch, which I do survive, but this Hypno has another Thunder Punch already loaded, so this foul play is going to go through. Not quite enough to take out the Hypno, and this Hypno's Thunder Punch is going to take me out. That is a GG. Ah, that was rough. All right. So... not an amazing set, but 3 out of 5, still positive. I get a Genesect. I think this is actually like the first one I get for Go Battle Day, which, that took a long time to get. And not able to catch this in the first ball, so I don't know why I didn't trim this. I already knew this video was going to be long, but I guess I'll just start doing my closing. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to do the things you know you're supposed to do at the ends of videos. You know you're supposed to do them. Please do them. Helps me out a lot. Also... I was 5 subscribers away from hitting 4K subs on my 69th video, so a little sad about that. Please subscribe. Never really say that to people. Apparently, probably should have. That's on me. I'll see you on the next one.